Hi, Jill.
Gav should be back by now.
Yeah. Let's talk to him then.
I hear there's trouble in Rosaria.
I wish Jill was a bit more involved in the side quest stuff, because it really feels like sometimes she's standing next to me, but she doesn't even appear in the cutscenes. It's like she's not even there.
On autumn's breath, ill tidings born, an erstwhile home in twain are torn. Now in his path fell shades abide, pray let them not impede his stride.
You're a fast composer. Hey, Gav.
Ah, Clive! How I've missed that scowl.
Where's my report?
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in the wrong barrel. Now sit down, you fool.
So, you remember how quick the Empire was to occupy the Dominion after the fall of Drake's head? And how pissed off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first?
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world's supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist. And now the Republic's finally decided to follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare war on Sambrek. Lined up right outside the Dominion's gates as we speak, looking to starve the Imperials into submission.
And now all eyes are on the Strait of Author.
Well, the two nations beat their shields. The rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor.
Smart.
They'll never see us coming.
Oh.
It's time we moved on the Mothercrystals. Four Mothercrystals remain in Storm and Ash. Drake's Breath near Ironhome. Drake's Fang in Dhalmekia. Drake's Spine in Waloed. And Drake's Tail here in the Crystalline Dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's Fang will be left exposed.
That is exactly the move Kupka would anticipate. And if there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps. There is one place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's Breath.
There's a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
The Ironwood
An
one.
acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rossfield.
What?
Lord Byron Rosfield of the Seven High Houses, the trade magnate with holdings in over 100 cities. Wait. Rosfield.
Gav doesn't know?
You're a Rosfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune. Along with a handsome fleet of ships.
Well, it's settled then. What are we waiting for, eh? Huh?
Will he listen to us? Because your uncle sounds like a business person, and business people don't like to get involved in things that don't have returns. What we're doing, destroying the Mothercrystals, that's not a profitable thing. Would he just do it out of the kindness of his heart? Otto's counter is now open. New facilities, Alliant reports, the Patrons Whisper, the Hunt Board. And Nectar.
What are we waiting for, indeed?
Wouldn't everybody hate us? Everybody wants to keep their Mothercrystals, so there were 5. And they're all related to Drakes for some reason. Drake's head, Drake's tail, Drake's breath. But this whole world is dependent on magic. If you destroy their Mothercrystals, everyone's gonna hate us. And we don't really need more enemies.
Welcome back, Sid.
I'll have 1 drink for myself this time.
The usual, then.
I'll treat everyone once we get a great victory. Like if we go destroy the Mothercrystal and we come back alive. We don't even get to see the animation.
Don't be a stranger, Sid.
Are you serious? I spent 500 gil. They don't even give me the animation of drinking. Rude.
Is it business or pleasure? Coin purse weighing you down?
You don't have any pleasure for me, do you? I don't think so. Yeah, I can sell the coral sword now.
I'll be thankful you got that much.
I'll save my dad's sword. Doesn't seem like anything's really changed yet. We can buy an orchestrion now. The roll, but no thank you. I'm good. Haven't used... See, we have so many different potions and stuff, but I don't really feel like I'm incentivized to use it because we don't have enough slots. Besides for the potion and high potion, we only have 1 more slot.
Finished, are you?
It's hard for me to want to take away the potion slot.
Those men didn't hurt Martha, did they?
No, she's okay.
Think it's alright to touch him?
I don't know. You go first.
Torgal, let the kids pat you.
What do you need? What do you want?
Nothing new? Pretty much it. Yeah, nothing new.
That it? Fine.
If you told me you could fire a forge without a crystal or a bearer before I came here, I'd have taken you for a man.
Was this my chambers? Yes. Ambrosia's saddle is here now. You can see it on the side. Yeah. Cool. Just little artifacts, I guess. That's so far away. Yeah, you got that little timeline at the bottom there. Any new messages for me? A bird by any other name. Forgive my insistence on writing you these silly letters. Would that we had more time to speak to each other in person, but for every day we spend together, it feels as though we must suffer another 2 apart. I am gladdened to hear of your most unexpected reunion with Ambrosia, or should I say Whiteheart. You told me once how your chocobo sacrificed herself to protect you that night at Phoenix Gate, and here, so many years later, we find that she has spent her life doing that exact same thing, defending others. Some things never change, do they, Clive? Jill. Jill, you were there! You were next to me when this happened. My goodness. But the first paragraph there does sound like we've probably taken some steps in our relationship, even if it's not very explicitly stated. She's been by my side for so long that maybe we just never really outright said, hey Jill, like you're my girlfriend now, but it basically is that way anyway. And Gav's back now. Alright. I guess canonically, when we do side quests, Jill isn't with us. Even though she saw me ride Ambrosia and she rode the yellow one. Okay. Okay, I guess. Somebody need help? There were lots of new facilities. They were all around Otto, not here yet. What you got for me? We got this filter, the water filter right here. And the trees.
It won't be long now, Martel. They'll try your apples soon enough. Sid, I was hoping to speak to you.
Is everything all right?
Oh, yeah, it's just, well, as you know, we've been trying to grow fruit down here.
It's good to know that something of the old Hideaway still lives on.
Martel's pride and joy. It was a sapling when she rescued it from the rubble, but look at it now. All our hard work's finally paying off. I took it on, you see, after she died, and now the fruit's finally ready to eat. And not only is it ready, it's actually tasty. Sweet as you like, in fact. She bred the bitter right out of it.
Impressive. And welcome news to more than a few, I'd say.
I thought this first harvest could go to the curse breakers, on account of all they do for the Hideaway.
Yes.
You couldn't take them some, could you? Seems better them coming from you.
Okay, but you should do it yourself too. It's okay. Take the credit.
It'll be nice being the bearer of good news for a change.
Oh, thank you. She always had a soft spot for that lot, see? And once they've had their share, I'll see to it that everyone else gets some. Here you go. Martel apples, they're called, in honor of her memory.
That's nice.
You hear that, Martel? Today's finally the day.
It was the girl we saved that the original botanist didn't care about. A lot of people maintaining the hideout here, but the curse breakers are the ones actively going around to save others, to break others' curse.
Martel would have wanted the curse breakers to be the first to try our apples. I'm sorry to put you to the trouble, Sid. But thanks.
Even I don't get to try it out myself. Not yet. How's it going? Yeah, same as before. At least we have this little safe haven. But it feels really temporary, especially knowing that the previous hideout's gone now, and that kind of stuff just takes the span of what? One day. And it can be gone. As soon as they find us again. Like if Hugo finds us again, it's not going to be fun. And it sounds like within the past 5 years, we've become plenty familiar with him. Lots of skirmishes. He's never been able to really catch me.
And you say Sid built this place?
Well, one can't really build what's been lying around for several thousand years. But it was his idea we claim it for our own.
It's convenient. There's already been a ship here. And then later down the line, there's going to be a situation where we need the airship. And we don't have to find one because we're sitting right in one. Wouldn't that be nice?
Perhaps they're old enough for the sins of Zemeckis.
Our tutor, our local tutor. Let's get back over here. Bunch of stuff going on at Otto's too.
There was a time I only had eyes for Otto. But then I saw the light, and his name is Cole.
Oh!
That way he looks at you like a frightened fawn who's lost his mother. Oh, if only I could shoot an arrow through his heart.
Lady moves on fast. What can I say? Damn. Hey, Nectar. You want to tell me about the board? Clive, there you are, Kupo. I've been looking all over for you.
What's the matter, Nectar?
The matter is this, Kupo.
The hunt board? It's where the curse breakers post sightings of particularly fearsome beasts. Those that might pose a threat to our operations if they were left to roam free. Just because they can't be dealt with when they're spotted, doesn't mean they can't be dealt with later. Was that what you wanted to know?
Of course not, Kupo. I knew all that already. And that's why I need your help. And I need not remind you, Kupo, I am the mightiest of all Mughals. No fiend of the forest or ghoul of the greensward can something, so I need you to slay them all, Kupo.
Right. Well, leaving your mightiness aside for the moment, the people of Valisthea are going through a lot already. What with the Blight and the war. The last thing they need is ungodly fiends terrorizing them on top of everything else.
So if the curse breakers are too busy to help, then perhaps I can. Or at least I can try.
Oh, thank you, Kupo! It's good to have found someone who understands me, Kupo. I'll stay here then, and keep an eye on all the billets that get posted on the board. So if there's anything you need to know, Kupo, just ask him? I don't know. Did you see that the curse breakers give every billet a rank of riskiness, Kupo? From this thing could kill you with a single swipe, to a 7-nation army couldn't scratch this thing's skin. But I'm sure you'll be fine, Kupo. Well, not sure, but that's one risk I'm willing to take. Thanks, Nectar. Can you tell me more about the board? It's precisely what you see before you, Kupo. The curse breakers note down the details of any particularly dangerous monsters they hear about or encounter in the course of their duties, Kupo. And post the billets here, Kupo, so that any stout soul who wishes to do the realm a service might set out to slaughter an ungodly horror or two, which is where you come in, Kupo. As for me, I have the most important duty of all, painting a big red cross over each and every one you cut down, Kupo, so that everyone can sleep at night knowing that the realm is a safer place. How important! Thank you, Nectar the Mighty. Tell me more about your adventures. Did I ever tell you about the time I visited the Great Continent, Kupo?
I don't think so.
Of course I didn't, because I've never been, Kupo! Are your eyes even open? Look at these wings! Do they look like the sort that might carry a Moogle across countless leagues of open sea? They call me Nectar the Bold, not Nectar the Stupid, Kupo. Kupo? Hey, this thing... I remember Kupo, but not Moogle. I was thinking about this, because I have a friend who is like a Final Fantasy, like a mega fan, and she goes to conventions and stuff. She does all the cosplaying and all that, and she routinely tells me about how she goes to one called KupoCon. And I saw the picture, which was the Moogle, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So in my head, I was like, oh, okay, so this thing is called Kupo, which, you know, I think that's a better name than Moogle, but hey, who am I to say? I asked you about hunts already. Do you have anything more? The curse breakers don't just tack up any old rumors to this board, you know. They take great pains to verify every little detail, Kupo. So don't you go letting all their hard work go to waste, Kupo. Don't you let me, I mean them, down. I'll think about it. Did you see that all the billets are marked with a location, Kupo? That's where all the horrible horror in question was seen. But you can't be expected to memorize every last place name in the whole wide realm. You're only human, Kupo. So if the place name doesn't tingle your pom-pom, Kupo, try reading the witness's statement. Sometimes there are other details in them that might help you track the nasties down and finish them off. Okay. I'll do it if I feel like it. Don't give me a level 99 adamantoise or whatever, okay? Reports of fiends terrorizing the countryside are posted to the hunt board in hopes that fearless heroes like Clive will take it upon themselves and slay them down. Like the eyeball we saw earlier. So this one's gone. Angel of Death. A trader coming by the way of Kaer Norvin met with a troop of curse breakers traveling in the opposite direction and warned them of a wicked winged harpy on the road ahead, his eyes wild and flickering. Though the curse breakers saw nothing untoward on their own journey through their pass, the sound of cackling laughter from the trees ensured that they kept up a brisk pace. So, in Sanbreque, Clairview? Okay, harpies. And then Broken Hilt, Rosaria, a dragon. Belphegor. There's a wild avis of striking size making its nest atop the hill adjacent to Eastpool. Okay. If I'm in the area, I'll think about it. What else is new? Desiree?
Oh, Clive! Welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
The Patron's Whisper? Does that mean someone else is taking care of our friend's donations?
Oh no, that's still me. It's just Karen has her toll, Blackthorn has his hammer. I thought a new name might liven things up. I still catalogue every item that arrives, in addition to setting aside those tokens of appreciation the sender has specified are to be presented to you personally. Would you like to see if we have any?
Okay. But can you tell me about you first?
Business is busy.
On top of my regular duties here at the Whisper, Otto has piled countless other tasks, from transcribing and sorting Stolas reports to penning needful missives. Not that I'm complaining, mind. I enjoy writing. I have ever since I learned my letters from Jara back in the old Hideaway. It was you! You were the one learning letters. I won't claim to have been his best student, though. That honor goes to Shirley, who is now our tutor.
Still.
I like to think Jara would be proud of me, too. Were you with us today? How have you been in the past 5 years?
Words are immortal.
They live on in others, and if the words are your own, so too will you. Do you know who told me that? It was Jara, in our last lesson before Titan came. It stayed with me ever since his passing, and inspired me to become what I am today. I imagine we survivors all have a story like that, of someone who remains with us, even though they're gone. Sid, biggest example.
Come to claim your just desserts?
Completing side quests will earn Clive renown, inspiring nameless benefactors from across the twins to donate money. How are they donating to us though? Isn't this a secret place? We can see our renown level and accept donations here. Talk of the tea house. You merry band of outlaws and its dashing deeds of daring do are all the talk amongst the ladies of the court. We have gathered together several items of worth that you might continue your gallantry. Heart-struck Dowager. Thank you. Ability points. You're giving me 400 ability points? Thank you.
You earned this.
We can get a donation for ability points. That's fantastic. Respect. Our order is one built on pride, but that does not mean we are too proud to give thanks where thanks is due. We may have failed Martha once, but never again. The Blood Axes.
All yours.
1 meteorite. And then we have more here. Okay. Berserker Ring. We can sort of see the reward already.
All done?
Nice, thank you.
Fancy a look at the list, do you?
Alliant reports. How have you been?
Oh, same old.
In it. Otto's got me reading through the reports coming in from our allies and picking out what problems need dealing with now, and what can be saved for later. It was still early days back in the old place, so I could just about handle the job myself. State of the world now, though. I need these help to sift through it all. And that's just the sifting. Actually solving any of these problems is a whole other headache. The curse breakers take the urgent stuff, but we're stuck waiting for volunteers to handle the rest.
So,
If you ever find yourself at a loose end, well, you know where to find me. How have you been in the past 5 years? So much has happened since that night. Feels like a lifetime ago. But we'll never forget those who didn't make it. Kenneth, Martel, they're still with us in our hearts.
And Sid?
When I found out he was gone, I thought that was it for us.
But he's still with us too.
With us, and in you. You took his name, and gave us hope when we had none. So, I suppose what I'm trying to say is, don't be a stranger, eh? A hideaway ain't nothing without its Sid. Sid.
Here you go.
This is side quest. No side quests right now. Okay.
Always something in there.
Doesn't sound like anywhere is safe. Not that I'm planning a journey.
Otto?
Without a ship to carry you there, Drake's breath might as well be on the moon.
Drake's breath is the one that my dad talked about, the one that the Iron Kingdom has control of now?
So Mather's alright.
Yep. Others weren't so lucky though.
If we're gonna go back near there, we have to be careful about, you know, Jill. Jill has a lot of unhappy memories there, I would assume. We don't really know about her time there. We haven't talked about it.
You two look like you could use something to eat. Here. Courtesy of Martel.
Here's your apples.
Martel. Now, where have I heard that name before?
What? You forgot?
Weren't she the girl from the furrows?
Course she was. An odd sort, that one. Loved plants more than people.
Aye, and brave as a bane might. Remember when she ran back into the hideaway to collect them trees when Titan attacked? Wait.
These aren't those apples, are they? Well, I'll be. She'd have been proud, and rightly so. Thank you, Sid.
If she hadn't grabbed the apples and the seeds, we wouldn't have any food right now. Not apples anyway.
Them old apples were enough to curdle your guts. But these beauties are as sweet as you like.
I'll have to pay the boys down in the backyard a visit to tell them thanks.
Hi, Vivian. How are you?
Here for another of my lectures.
Should I look at this again? You keep seeming like you have stuff.
How may I help you today?
Oh. By speaking with Vivian at the Hideaway's map room, Clive can view the state of the realm and learn more about the current goings-on in Valisthea. Or we can take a deeper look at the relationships of those individuals in Clive's orbit. The Grand Cast. Situation map. Even they realize that it's kinda crazy. There is a lot going on.
Here's the latest information I have.
You can view a detailed visualization of character relationships in Final Fantasy XVI 16 that updates as you progress through the main scenario. This is useful for if you play a game and then you take a break and then you come back and you forget everything. But otherwise, I don't think this is really necessary if we pay attention. But anyway. Right, and then this opens up the codex stuff. This is talking about the very beginning. We had Clive, first Shield of Rosaria, childhood friends with Ward of Rosaria. We had a puppy. We had Joshua, our brother, sworn to Shield. Sworn to serve... Oh, Sir Tyler, Sir Wade, Rodney. Yeah, sworn to serve Joshua, basically. And then we have Mom and Dad. Mom, if I can even call her that. And Ambrosia, of course. So this is the very beginning. Knight of Flames. Means that my dad died, Joshua died, as far as we know, believed dead. The wording itself is giving it away already. And then there's some stranger that appeared on that night. A dominant of fire. Who is he though? And then as we grew up, death in the defile. We met Jill again, Shiva's dominant. Damn. Oh, this would have been so useful back in the first part. Look at all these relationships. Yes, Hugo. Benedicta was manipulating Hugo, but we don't know in what way though. Okay, sure, she had a thing going on with him, but how was she manipulating him? Because they were from different places, so was she getting Dhalmekian intel from him? Dhalmekians, these were the people at the council meeting. And then the Waloed. This dude hasn't come up again. This is the Waloed Lord Commander now. So Sid's old spot then, his old position before he left. Benedicta has been dead. Not sure if they got a new dominant somewhere, because otherwise... Also, Waloed had two dominants then. The king. The king himself and Benedicta. Dhalmekia has one. Iron Kingdom has nothing. Still a stranger here. And then Sam Breck. If I were Annabella, I don't know why I wouldn't have just killed Clive. It's by keeping him around. Someday he's gonna come back and bite you in the butt. Like probably what's gonna happen later on. She was dumb. She made a silly move. Ooh, who are these people? These are the hideout people. Yes, Sid's hideaway. Allies, friends reunited. This Joshua's still here the whole time. We learned Sid is Rom's dominant. There was also a Quentin from Lost Wing. Yeah, I think we know most of this. But Benedicta... Who's that dude? Geralt? Oh, Benedicta dies later on anyway. Right. Yeah, we know this. Let's see what's happening in the present, shall we? Drake decapitated, Sid is gone. But some strange stuff happening. Dominant of the Phoenix, Joshua is back. But this Mysterious being, Ultima. I don't think we've read this one. An otherworldly being that Clive encountered in the inner sanctum of Drake's head. He addressed Clive as Mythos before attempting to merge their consciousnesses. However, Clive was able to summon the will to resist the creature before Joshua returned from the dead to imprison it in a cage of flame that he sealed away in his own heart. Ultima. Former lovers, Hugo, Benedicta, sure. Sid II. Fine Hound, Torgal. So going back in the present here, are you serious? Clive and Jill, it just says traveling companions. Really? Still at this point? I know we're more focused on stuff like saving the world, but you can't just be saving the world the whole time. We met Ambrosia again. Who's this? Medicine Girl. Is she really gonna be coming up again? We saw her in the very beginning cutscene for 5 years later, that's it. Sam Breck people. Dion, we don't know too much about him. Bahamut's dominant. Oh, all the dominants are listed as a little square next to the people. I assume Garuda hasn't gone anywhere yet. Rama hasn't gone anywhere yet. Or maybe we don't know where. Lots of dominants around. Hugo is hunting us. That's the main gist here. Wow. Alright, that's a... it's a lot going on. Situation map.
Study it well, Clive.
Current and past events relevant to Clive's story. Same thing, it updates the whole time. So we'll just focus on the latest one then. Why didn't they give this to us earlier? Could they not have found an excuse to give it to us before this lady came? Goodness. Empire's New Dominion. They moved from Oriflamme to the Crystalline Dominion because they wanted the crystal. And the Ether Flood meant the other crystal, even if we hadn't destroyed it, they would have had to move. It takes its name. So now we just learned about something called the Black Shields, who were attacking Martha's Rest, but we don't really know too much about what is going on specifically. Drake's Breath. Drake's Breath Mothercrystal is right in between Rosaria and the Iron Kingdom. It's on its own little island. No wonder my dad was talking about how we were fighting for it. Yeah. It used to be with Rosaria. No longer, because Rosaria is a province now. The Siege of the Strait. Clive and his outlaw allies plot to take advantage of the distraction provided by the war unfolding in the east by turning their own attentions west for Drastanis and Drake's Breath. But first they will need to secure a ship from Clive's uncle Byron in Port Isolde. Okay. I don't know why he'd listen to you, like we said, but okay. A port city situated on the southwestern coast of the imperial province of Rosaria, only Rosalith rivals it for size, and in the glory days of Archduke Elwin's reign. Its streets bustled with traders from across Valisthea. Sadly, those days are long since gone, and Samraquois occupation has seen everything, from marketplaces to military institutions, subverted to the will of the Empire. Does my uncle really still go by Rosfield? Because if so, really dumb of the Empire to not get rid of him. You gotta get rid of the old family so that they don't come back again, you know? This is Politicking 101, isn't it? My mom is dumb.
Thus ends today's lesson.
Okay. I don't imagine we'll really need to look at that much, but it's good to organize all the details in your head though, because there is a lot going on here. Would you like an apple?
A gift from the backyard. For your service.
Blimey, these take me back. I haven't seen a Hideaway apple since. Old Sid was the only one who could stomach the things. He'd nab 'em right from the branch, make Martell livid. Not that anyone could stay mad at the man for long.
That sounds like the Sid I knew, all right.
Planning on keeping that lot to yourselves, were you? Hang on. These aren't Martells, are they? I'm glad to see someone carried on what she started. Can't have been easy, not in the Deadlands. Reckon she'd be happy knowing all her hard work didn't go to waste. Clive, tell the lad down in the backyard to run some over for me, will you?
Not so much as a thank you. Well, I've got some manners at least. Thanks, Sid. You can leave the basket with me. I'll see that the others get their share. Oh, and give our compliments to the gardener, won't you?
Okay.
That was the last of the apples. I should head to the backyard and pass along everyone's regards.
Better not eat all the apples yourself.
Can't remember the last time I had fresh fruit. Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
We're fighting against nature here by trying to harvest anything, really. There's people training down there. They're all attributing it to Martell and not the guy, the botanist, though. Kind of... yeah, no one's brought up the botanist guy at all. It's kind of weird. Anyway... so we should go back.
Them old apples were enough to curdle your gut.
But if we're going this side, yeah, we'll just wrap around and we need to get back to the tomes to read. Let's do some reading.
Room's as ragged as goat's locks.
When we're in the hideout, we can almost forget about all the worries in the world. Not really, but I like to imagine.
If everyone used to live in the sky, where did they get their fish? They ate flying fish, silly.
Are we assuming that the Fallen used to live in the sky because they had a lot of airships? I would have assumed they used the airships for transportation. But if they live in the sky, that's a completely different thing.
I am a tinker by trade, but I've always been fascinated with the art of healing.
If only there were a salve to mend a broken engine.
Maybe later on. Mithril, a mineral most mighty. Mithril is a material of both passing hardness and luster, and it is these two qualities for which it is valued by the weapon and armorsmiths of the realm. However, there is a third quality of mithril that sets it apart from steel or shell, its durance. While even the finest steel might be melted by dragons' fire, become brittle in frigid climes, or turn to rust if not regularly and rightly oiled, mithril is, once made, eternally unchanging. In this volume, I will explain how one might go about making, shaping, and employing mithril in one's work. You can learn a lot just by reading around here. Hey, Harpocrates. No, this one we've read. How you doing?
Is there something I might assist you with, Clive? I have compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them.
I would. We need to learn
What
about...
subject shall we consider today?
the Black Shields. An order of knights instituted by Empress Annabella in one of her first acts of vice reign in the newly established imperial province of Rosaria. They are tasked with purging the impurities from the province, which in practice primarily involves slaying bearers upon the slightest pretexts. Empress Annabella, is she primarily in charge of Rosaria then? She's the vice reign here, and I guess Sylvester doesn't really care about Rosaria much. He's got the rest of the empire to worry about. And she's just making Rosaria her backyard playground, really. Annabella Lesage, former Duchess of Rosaria, now Empress of the Holy Empire of Sanbreque. It was ever her purpose in life to preserve her phoenix-bearing bloodline, for which reason she betrayed her husband, that she might enter in league with a force she judged the mightier. Now she rules over Rosaria as vice-reign of the imperial province, which she rules with a cruelty and contempt for the baseborn that was unknown in Archduke Elwin's day. What? Her phoenix-bearing bloodline. Her bloodline is phoenix-bearing? That's why she betrayed her husband? Because he's more powerful. It was Annabella's treachery that led to the disaster at Phoenix Gate. It was not only her beauty, but her connection to a bloodline that produced many previous dominants of the Phoenix that led to her being proposed as a bride for the young Archduke. Indeed, the two are cousins. Having known from a young age that her purpose in life was to preserve her Phoenix-bearing bloodline, she dotes on Joshua and scorns Clive. That's the reason? Why she hates me? Hey, I come from you. If I'm not the dominant of Phoenix, that's your fault. It's your blood that's faulty. Why am I not the Phoenix? Oh, interesting. We could have learned this much earlier, but I didn't read this one. But why would you betray your cousin husband, who is literally from the same family as you, for the Emperor? Even without the marriage, he's your family. He is also from the Phoenix family. Okay. Once she finds out that I'm the dominant of Ifrit, I wonder how she would react. Is she gonna find out? The Crystalline Impasse. A conflict fought between Sanbreque and Dhalmekia in 878, largely concerning the control of the Crystalline Dominion. The Dominion had previously been the subject of a non-aggression pact between Valisthean nations, but in 873, the Empire claimed Twinside for its new capital, an act which eventually spurred the Dhalmekians to military action. Non-aggression treaty. A pact in which was codified the agreement between nations to refrain from invading the Crystalline Dominion and laying claim to its mother crystal, Drake's Tail. It both cemented the Dominion's position at the center of world politics and placed cheeks on the ability of key players to exploit that position. So there was nothing going on here before? Well, this was because it's related to some kind of church thingy, right? Like Crystalline Dominion is a religion? Or why did they get to be exempt from the war? Huh. Mysteries of the realm. Beasts. Animals whose evolution has been warped by exposure to ether, some gaining the ability to cast magics. Unlike bearers, however, they seem to have developed little ethereal tolerance, so it is not uncommon to encounter akashic beasts in the vicinity of ether floods. Wild beasts are sometimes tamed by humans for use in warfare, the soldiers of Sanbreque having a particular fondness for those descendants of ancient dragons. That's why everything here is called Drake. Notorious marks. Sometimes curse breakers will learn of creatures that are, for reasons varying from the loss of natural habitat or a lack of food to overexposure to ether, have begun to exhibit uncharacteristically violent behavior. So we gotta kill them. Okay. Oh. The Cullings. After being made vicereign of the newly annexed Rosarian territory, the Empress Annabella quietly established a host of loyal Imperial soldiers, the Black Shields, to maintain order. Though branded as keepers of the peace, their true purpose is to carry out what has come to be known as cullings, or brutal massacres of provincial bearers and those who show them sympathy. The killing is swift and indiscriminate, with the Shields dispatched serving as judge, jury, and executioner, and the chaos left in their wake is usually enough to deliver entire settlements to ruin. They should have done this ages ago. Not 18 years later, to be honest, if that's really what they were wanting to do. Missives. The second simplest method of long-distance communication used in Valisthea, after whispering one's message to a traveling trader and trusting in the strength of their memory. Though letters are more prone to interception than stolaces, they have the advantage they can be sent to those one does not know. Their major disadvantage, that the majority of the common folk of the twins can neither read nor write, limiting their exchange to those of a certain level of education. Efforts are underway to offer such an education to the bearers of the Hideaway, and many are already more confident readers and writers than their former masters. Oh, the majority of people can't read or write. That's the majority. You must be pretty high up if you can do either of these things. That's it for here. Lay of the land. Sid's Hideaway. Destroyed by Hugo Kupka. Fewer than half of the people managed to escape the slaughter. Benumir, a lake in the Blighted Lands on the southern edge of the former Grand Duchy of Rosaria, named for the dragon that some tales say created the basin when it fell from the sky. Fallen airships dot its expansive waters like forgotten cenotaphs, leading some to liken it to a graveyard. Its remote location, far from any trade route and deep inside the Deadlands, made it an obvious choice for Clive when faced with rebuilding Sid's legacy. Rosalith, the capital city of the Duchy of Rosaria. I thought we were gonna go when we went to Phoenix Gate, but no. No, I assume my mom is here. She's either here or with the Emperor, which we didn't see. Rosalith Castle. Yeah, these are really old entries. We don't really have to exhaustively read it. This castle is now Samberquois. They've been here since 860, when the duchy was annexed by the Empire following the tragedy at Phoenix Gate and the subsequent invasion by the Iron Crusade. The Apothecary. A place of worship located in the depths of Phoenix Gate, an ancient stronghold on the northwestern border of the former Duchy of Rosaria. A large mural dominates the sacred chamber, where the rite of ancestral communion, a ceremony carried out by the duchy's dominant prior to marching into battle, was once performed. So is this Fallen related? Is it? All the blue stuff seems to be Fallen related. 7 high houses, the highest noble houses of Old Rosaria, of which House Rosfield is the first and foremost. They have their roots in the ruling dynasties of the small independent nations that were united upon the founding of the duchy. The houses had a prominent voice in ducal politics, but this was silenced when the region fell to the Empire, and Empress Annabella took Rosaria's reins. This woman has no loyalty to her own people. At best, you can say that she has a loyalty to preserving her Phoenix bloodline, but I would have assumed that she would have that loyalty in the context of her being a Rosfield. No, she just cares about the Phoenix bloodline and she's willing to work with the enemy and all for that too? Really? Martha's Rest. Small settlement huddled atop a rocky tor overlooking the swampy lowlands of southeastern Rosaria. Sellswords gather in its barracks, hawker in its streets, and while those short on work can be heard singing over flagons of ale from morning till night in the village's eponymous tavern. A rare spot of sunshine among the gloom. Most travelers make a point of stopping here when they're passing through. It is annexed, but people still like it. The territorialization of Rosaria. In 861, taking advantage of the discord arising from Rosaria's internal woes in the wake of the Night of Flames, the Ironblood launched an attack that inflicted devastating losses on an already crippled nation, robbing it of what little power remained. Later that same year, Sambrek stepped in and forced the once proud duchy to submit to one final humiliation by becoming a vassal state of the Empire, just as Duchess Annabella and her imperial conspirators had planned. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, the woman thought, well, doesn't look like we're gonna have long, so I'll just betray everybody I know and go with the Empire. Alright, dude.
The door to the shelves shall ever be open.
Okay. Let's go to the stone and practice a little bit, and we'll go to... I'll hand in this stuff first.
The Cursebreakers send their thanks. And their compliments. They were clearly very fond of Martel.
They remembered her? After all these years? I suppose she was very kind, even to a tongue-tied lummox like me. You were one of the good ones, Martel. Why did you have to die? She put everything into her work. She wasn't going to rest until we had fruit sweet enough to enjoy. And now we do. When she died, I named a sapling after her. And now it's a full-grown tree. Martel lives on through the fruit it bears.
And through you. Her dream would have died with her, had you not kept it alive. That's something to be proud of.
I didn't do anything really, but thank you. You're kinder to me than I deserve.
By the way, Otto's expecting some of your crop. And I wouldn't mind some of it either, if that's not too much to ask.
Of course not. I'll see that you're both well provided for. They like your fruit, Martel. Isn't that wonderful? I'd say it's about time we planted you some siblings, don't you think?
It would be nice if we could, after all the Mothercrystals get destroyed, Will the land rejuvenate and all that? Can we grow stuff again? That would be nice. Martell apples. A basket of slightly stunted, somewhat sweet apples grown from the blighted earth, thanks to the dedication and perseverance of one woman, Martell. May she rest in peace. Well, it's not really grown from the blighted earth. It's more like we're going against nature to do this. Still, we'll grow something worth eating one of these days, and when we do, you'll have first pick. That's a lie.
Just look at her. Isn't Martell in fine fettle? And what about young Bohemil here? He's got some work to do if he wants to catch up with his brother Kenneth.
Oh, you named them all after the people that went away? Bohemil was the main botanist. Finally, there's a mention of him. Kenneth. All these people. Yeah, Martell. I know we didn't really like Bohemil that much, but they've really shifted the focus all on Martell, who was really just the assistant back 5 years ago.
This tun here pulls the black from the lake water and renders it clear. You'll have to ask Mid if you want to know how it works, though.
Fantastic.
It's not the ether.
Slow symbols of hope. We have multiple botanists now. That in itself is probably a sign that we're growing. Because back in the day, we only had the one guy, but now we have... The good thing about being on the lake is that we're near water. Even if it's not clean water, it's still
through the forge today?
water.
It smells like a still.
It would explain Blackthorn's foul mood. All that pounding must be splitting his skull.
Take a break! Don't be so stressed. You're our only resident smith here. Take a break.
Think it's alright to touch him?
Alright. What else do we got here? Stage replay? What stages can we replay anyway? Oh. Greatwood, Cara Norvent, Eye of the Tempest, King's Fall, Phoenix Gate Ruins, Drake's Head. Oh no, I don't wanna... Ugh. Costness. Okay, cool. I like Heatwave and all, but let's just switch out to something else. Because if we don't try new stuff, we'll never know if it's better or worse than what we have right now. So abilities-wise, let's try out some of our own stuff. We've been relying on the Phoenix. Yeah, and then we can also reset the points if we need to. Not a big problem. I will add something, well, Limit Break. Limit Break is probably really good because it's not a ability that takes up a slot. So if we do it right now, I think that would probably be a good thing actually. Oh, we can keep going up. Adds a second, upgrading it adds a second limit break gauge. Mastery adds a third one. Oh, I see. Ignition. This is what we tried as Ifrit already. Can be used mid-air. It feels a little bit hard to control though, maybe if we lock onto enemies. I'll try this one first. Will o' the Wisps. We can do 2 levels. Allows assignment to any icon. That's mastery. What? Wait. No. Upgrade and mastery are different. I can upgrade it. I see. Mastery means you can assign it to any icon, like how right now we have fire, we have wind, we have thunder. But if I master this, I can make this one go with thunder instead. That's kind of cool. Well, let's try this out. Heatwave, bye-bye for now. Will o' the Wisps. You coming to get me? So I just go near people. It's good if I'm being surrounded by a lot of creatures. It just does its own thing. It means that people getting near me will routinely get hurt. We can try it out. How long does it last for? That long. Okay. Yeah, see, we have 3 limit gauge breaks, or limit break gauges now. Cool. Doesn't seem that impressive, but I'll keep trying it. over on this side. Rook's Gambit. Punishing counter. I wish the special abilities were a little bit... Let's see. Oh, battle techniques. Strike an enemy with a Rook's Gambit counter strike. We have to look into the details if we want to know about the specific stuff. Wicked Wheel. I gave up on this one for a bit. You think it might be a good to try it out again? We could. Perform an aerial combo on an enemy after lifting it with Wicked Wheel. Battle techniques. Like, those are recommended things that we can do with it. Okay. Okay, there has to be a way for us to directly assign this ability to our hotkeys. This UI is a bit... Yeah, it's a bit cumbersome that we have to keep going back like this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can try parrying and stuff. No, the timing for parrying is harder. Ah, but if I imbue my sword with fire to begin with, and then wait for him to attack me. He faked me out again. No. He didn't hit me though. Okay, well anyway, that was a thing. Blind Justice. Can we make it so that you don't attack me first? Hold up. Can you just stand still for a bit? Enemy aggro off. Invincibility. So, pile drive. Oh, I think this is like a comp. Wait, thunderstorm. Takes a while, hits one dude. Blind Justice. Got target a guy. Gotta check it out properly. Pile drive. Drive Rama's staff into the ground, electrifying everyone in the radius. Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod we do not have used right now, right? It's not equipped. Thunderstorm. Right, so this is the AoE. Pile drive is AoE. Lightning Rod is... I can't really tell if it's AoE or not. And then Thunderstorm is a single target. Depends on what you're really trying to do, I guess. Pile drive. Would be nice to have some AoEs though, but the Flames of Rebirth is already a nice AoE. Let's stick out Thunderstorm for now, and I'll try Lightning Rod. Right, you see that there's a thing there now. Although with only one enemy being here, it's kind of hard for me to tell what it does. Okay. One other thing I wanted to try out was maybe what's more important really, the combos, more so than the abilities. I think lunges we have a pretty good understanding of, magic, and then holding down these buttons. Aerial combos is something I don't do very much still. Magic burst, I know how to do it, but I don't do it enough. These are all mastered already. That's pretty much it though, right? Stomping. Swift recovery, yeah. Oh, taunt I don't do at all. R2 and, well, that's a weird key combination. Holy attention, do I ever really need that? Down thrust. Precision dodge. Yeah, I think we know most of this. It's just a matter of stringing it together so that it makes sense. Okay. Alright, in that case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset all my abilities. Yeah. I'm just gonna focus on the ones that we're actually using, and we can master them too, as opposed to leaving points in the other ones. I'll miss Heatwave for a little bit, but I think it'll be good to try things out. Do I really need Master for this one? We'll see. Yeah, Flames of Rebirth. That needs a lot. Rook's Gambit. I'll... Wicked Wheel. Okay. Lightning Rod. I don't think I have enough points to do everything I want. No. See, I would have liked to get the upgrade for Flames of Rebirth, but I can't get it. Even Rising Flames. Rising Flames. Phoenix Shift. Phoenix Shift. Okay. Ah, there's gotta be. This is such a drag. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Will of the Wikes. Flames of Rebirth. Gouge. Wicked Wheel. Pile Drive. Lightning Rod. Yeah? Alright. We'll try the rest out in the field. I think it's good to like come back periodically just to make sure we understand stuff, but most of the time, learning can be done on the field too. Let's go find my uncle then, huh?
You think it's alright to touch him?
Yes, it's okay.
Don't know. You go first.
Those men didn't...
No.
Martha, did they?
She's okay. She's okay. Don't worry. Let's... I keep forgetting, we don't have to go to a specific place. All we gotta do is open the map. It's right here then. This is the Mothercrystal. They're all different colored. Hawk's Cry Cliff. From these heathered highlands, one might catch a glimpse of Rosalith Castle and everything else in between. Southern Rosaria.
Do you think it was wise to leave, Gav? He didn't seem pleased.
I needed his eyes and nose in Dhalmekia. I'm not about to let Kupka take us unawares. Besides, he has a knack for that sort of thing.
That he does.
And wasn't it Sid who said that matters such as these are best left to dominance? Especially should one of his beloved opportunities to grow and change present itself.
You still remember, huh?
I always knew that I would return one day. Return to Ironhome.
For what?
After learning the truth, you were given the chance to face your past. If I am to continue at your side, I must do the same.
Yes.
We will face it together then.
To the end.
Come on.
I wish we did it earlier, so that Jill would feel better earlier.
How far do you think your mother's reach extends? Will we find the same tragedy in the south as we did at Martha's Rest?
More than likely. Which is why we should hurry. There are still many settlements between here and Port Isolde. We visit as many as we can and hear their stories. Starting with the village of Amber.
Assume the worst, so that when we find that it's not the case, we can rejoice in that a little bit. Serpent Scale. Ambrosia! Let's go. We see some chocobos there. They may not be friendly, but we can go. That's fine. Right over there. I suppose I'll grab that. It's okay, Jill. Just ignore them. We'll ignore them. We've passed already. The chocobos are okay. They're not attacking us.
Mockery of justice is what it is. Lord Elwyn would never have stood for this.
Quiet, you! I think we're loyalists.
Jill, look.
Black shields.
Rosaria must be cleansed of the stain which befouls her, that she might rise once again from the ashes to welcome a new dawn. 'Twould be a pity to make examples of you all for the transgressions of but a handful.
Of course, your lordship. You shall have our full cooperation.
What business could the Black Shields have in a village this small? There's barely room to hide a bearer.
Then they must be here for something else.
You fancy dancing a gallows jig like the miller's son?
All right, I heard you the first time.
It's a very small village.
You're a long way from home, aren't you?
We haven't seen a better sword in a long time. Cobalt tassels. Increases limit break generation amount by 6% when taking damage. Not necessary, I think.
I suppose we won't be seeing you again.
I feel like there's really not too much for us to spend money on, except for orchestrion roles.
Excuse me, but what was all that about earlier?
You haven't heard? Someone's been stirring up trouble. There have been attacks on the garrison, supplies stolen. They even say a Black Shield was murdered. The Empire wants answers, and what the Empire wants, the Empire gets.
Don't they just?
Keep your ears open, eh? The Black Shields will pay good coin for information on the culprits. You'd have to be dull as a sack of stones to think you could take on the Empire. What were their 100 full legions?
100? I heard it were 1,000.
We need a full-on rebellion.
We're going hunting for outlaws. How'd you like that, boy?
My name must be pretty infamous around here. We might have to be a bit careful because sometimes you would think people are on your side, but some of the people here seem like they'd be willing to sell me out for money. And I don't blame them.
Word is, Port Isolde's closed her gates to all but the Highborn, and now a great camp sprung up along the walls.
A camp.
Run along now, before one of the boys starts thinking you're something you're not.
You seen him, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
The Black Shields. Just now. You seen them, didn't you? At least I think there was a Black Shields. Can't say I ever saw one before.
Was this the first time they visited the village?
Well, what do you think? Amber's the arse end of nowhere. And they thought we might be harbouring firebrands. Huh. If only we were. I might have turned them in and become a Black Shield myself.
You don't think these firebrands the Empire is looking for could be us, do you?
I don't know.
How'd you get it?
But we need to find out.
I thought it was a bearer that had fire powers. We don't really know how the magic works. Dominants seem to only have one element for their icon. But do bearers get access to low-level magic of all elements, or is it just one specific power, one specific element? Firebrands certainly sounds like Clive, though.
Greetings, friend. We are travelers.
I know that. What do you want?
We couldn't help noticing those Imperial soldiers who were here earlier.
Don't you go telling these strangers a thing. I speak for the people of this village, and we have nothing more to say to you. You are to leave Amber and never come back.
May I at least ask why?
They're afraid of trouble.
I don't know who you are or what brings you here, but your presence puts us all in grave danger. The Empire is a harsh master. Its demands are great, and its justice swift. But as long as we keep our heads down and pay our tributes, we are left alone. Some might call it submission. But if it will spare my people the Viceroy's wrath, then I will gladly submit. This village will not become another East Pool.
Then we shall be on our way.
I agree with that kind of stance, to be honest. Justice sounds nice, but it's not always feasible.
These people live with a knife to their throats. In the mistaken belief that if they cooperate, my mother will show them mercy.
Obedience bought with fear.
Are you all right?
Sorry, It's nothing. We still don't know who the Black Shields are looking for.
Well, whoever they are, the Imperials deem them worth pursuing to the back of beyond. But other than Martha, who else in Rosaria would have the courage to stand against the Empire? A new ally would certainly be welcome. Can we find them before the Imperials do? Perhaps the next village will yield more answers.
Perhaps.